On to Miss Phillip to sing the National Anthem for us.
Isle of beauty, Isle of splendor, Isle too also sweet and fair. All must surely gaze in wonder at thy gifts so rich and rare. Rivers, valleys, hills and mountains, all these gifts we do extol. Healthy land so like all fountain, giving cheer that warms the soul. Dominica, God has blessed thee with a clime benign and bright, pastures green and flowers of beauty, filling all with pure delight, and a people strong and healthy, full of godly reverent fear. May we ever seek to praise thee for these gifts so rich and rare. Come ye forward, sons and daughters of this gem beyond compare. Strive for honor, sons and daughters, do the right, be firm, be fair. Toil with hearts and hands and voices, we must prosper, sound the call, in which everyone rejoices, all for each and each for all.
Please remain standing as we call Reverend Father Favalier to lead us in prayer, please. Favalier.
We begin in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord our God, our loving Father, at the beginning of this function, during which a new facility will be made available to our community, we turn to you in thanksgiving. The Holy Scriptures reveal you as a God who always communicates with man. In days of old you have spoken to us through the prophets, but in these last days you have spoken to us through your beloved Son. And he sent his messengers to the whole world to proclaim the good news of salvation. From generation to generation, communication has been of prime importance in evangelization and in keeping people informed of the happenings in the world and of sharing their experiences and knowledge. Year by year, communication has been made easier, and now new technologies have more recently revolutionized the way we communicate with others all over the world. Our knowledge has increased, and through the new technologies, our ability to learn and to perform has changed the lives of each and every one. As we celebrate these new faculties we now have to communicate, we thank you, Lord God, for inspiring and guiding all inventors and all those who have brought us to this present age. God, you share your gift of Creator with us, and great things happen when man cooperates with God. May this new Center of Excellence in Grand Fond be used in the best possible way. May the users have great respect for it and appreciation for what is made available to them. May it be a source of knowledge and inspiration to many. We are grateful to the government and to those who have made this improvement possible in our community. Bless them, Lord. May we constantly strive to know more in order to be more and to do more for the entire community and for our nation. May our participation in this gathering be a source of inspiration and a cause of rejoicing for all. Amen.
Thank you very much. Please be seated. Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt, Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Dominica. Honorable Calvadaro, Minister for Information, Science, Telecommunications and Technology. Honorable Peter Saint-Jean, Minister for Education and Human Resource Development. Permanent Secretaries and other heads of division. Ms. Joanna Lockhart, Chairperson of the Granford Village Council. Father Michel Favelli, Parish Priest. Mr. Bennett Thomas, Director of Telecoms. Dr. Blaise, Deputy Chief Education Officer and other heads of division. Ms. Gemma George, the Village Council Clerk. Members of the media, invited guests, Dominicans, listen via DBS and Kyrie FM, and also our fellow citizens in the diaspora. Ladies and gentlemen, a very bright and pleasant good afternoon to you all. I thought it was brighter than that, at least. It's indeed a very prestigious honor for us at the Ministry of Information, Science, Telecommunications and Technology to begin to see the fruition of the ideas, the aspirations, and the plan coming into transformation in what we're about to witness a little later on today in what we refer to as the Grand Fond Smart Center. And today we are here to witness and celebrate the opening of this very significant step in the right direction. I may just start by reminding you that during the new term of office, under the leadership of the present Prime Minister, there was a bold pronouncement that the determination was going to make to use science and technology to transform the economic landscape of Dominica in order to realize the social quality of life, the social prosperity we're looking for our people. And for us at the ministry, it's indeed another prestigious honor and elation to see we are ahead of the class in beginning to bring into realization the theme and objective of this year's budget, which tells us realizing a modern and prosperous Dominica. And for us, it's not only a smart center, it's a center where we're going to begin to see the fruition of ideas, innovation, and as our colleague, Mr. Craig Nesty liked to tell us, we have to begin to see us as a nation of providers and producers, not just mere consumers. And so we're going to use the opportunity to bring about education, to bring about the new technology advancement, where we can begin to shape the rural enterprise development in this country. And we will see a number of line ministries coming together, from the Ministry of Education, from the Ministry of Social Services, from the Ministry of Commerce and Small Business, where we will try to ensure that the business and entrepreneurial prospects in the communities are realized. And so it's an honor for me to call to the podium at this point your very own chairperson to give us a welcome. So I would say a pleasant welcome to Ms. Lockhart, the chairperson of the Granford Village Council.
Thank you very much. Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Dominica. Honorable Kelva Daru, Minister for Information, Science, Telecommunications and Technology. Honorable Peter Seja, Minister for Education and Human Resource. Other honorable members of Cabinet. Mr. Lucian Blackmore, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Information, Science, Telecommunications and Technology. Other Permanent Secretaries. Father Michael Favalier, our Parish Priest. Mr. Bennett Thomas, Director of Telecommunications. The Clerk of the Granford Village Council. Members of the media. Invited guests. Dominicans listening to DBS and Kyrie. Dominicans in the diaspora. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Today, I would like to extend a warm and pleasant welcome to everyone present at the opening ceremony of the Granford Smart Center. It is indeed a momentous occasion for the constituency, as we recognize the first rural establishment of information and technology sector in our community. I am confident with this new initiative, it will make a vast difference in everyone's life. Some of the benefits you can do: online courses, those involving small business. You could use the Smart Center to promote your business, also to protect your business valuable records, and to be able to communicate quickly and more effectively. Also, bear in mind, there are disadvantages. But remember, this is the first of its kind in Dominica. We are lucky in Granford. We have to empower ourselves, especially the youth, to excel in whatever direction they choose. Let us be grateful to the government and our dear Prime Minister. Let us make use of the Smart Center. Let us take care of it. Once again, I welcome everybody to Granford and to the Granford Smart Center, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Ms. Lockett, and I trust, I could judge from the applaud, that the youth and the others are really going to make use of the Smart Center. It's a tool for transformation. It's now my honor to call on Honorable Peter Seja, the Minister for Education, and I'm also told that he's representing the parliamentary representative, Honorable Seja.
Thank you very much, Chair. And I'm happy that my former schoolmate finally got my name correct. Let me recognize the distinguished presence of the Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Dominica, Honorable Kelva Daru, Minister for Science, Information, Telecommunications and Technology. I recognize also the distinguished presence of the Permanent Secretaries of Education and Information Science, Telecommunications and Technology, Parish Priest, Father Favalier, Miss Joanna Lockett, Chair of the Village Council, Granford Village Council, and other councillors here present, Director of Telecoms, Mr. Bennett Thomas, Assistant Chief Education Officer, Dr. Jeffrey Blaise, other distinguished invited guests, ladies, gentlemen, friends, and those listening to us via the media, a pleasant good afternoon to all. I take this opportunity to welcome all to the scenic community of Grand Fond, a community where first-time visitors are always tempted to take up permanent residence. I wish, on behalf of the parliamentary representative, Honorable Ivo Stevenson, to welcome all to this ceremony and to assure you, the people of Grand Fond, that your parliamentary representative, Honorable Ivo Stevenson, is making steady progress, and we anticipate his return to the constituency within the coming weeks. Today's commissioning of the Smart Center signals the dawn of a new day for the people of Grand Fond and for rural residents around Dominica. Information and communication technologies are a potential revolutionary means of empowering rural communities. Realizing this potential, your government, led by Roosevelt Skerrit, during the last general elections, said to the people of Dominica that this will be one of the pillars that we will use to empower our people. And so, in collaboration with other stakeholders, this government is investing significant sums to increase access to ICTs in remote communities like Grand Fond. The days of communities such as Grand Fond and the Southeast being considered as derrière do bon Dieu are fast becoming a thing of the past. The setting up of this Smart Center takes added significance, given that we are still grappling from the severe economic setbacks, having been hit by the biggest natural disaster since our independence. Ladies and gentlemen, your government believes that we must provide a supportive environment to achieve social and economic progress on a sustainable basis for the benefit of all rural communities, with a heavy focus on youth, women, and those involved in agro-processing. I wish, therefore, to call on the youth of the Grand Fond area to take advantage of the facility that is being commissioned here today. I call on the teachers to see this Smart Center as an initiation to exploring educational possibilities of technology, to ensure that our young people grow and become critical users of ICT. And to our young people and students, see it as an invitation to creativity and problem solving, as an introduction into the world of information and information technology, an opportunity to shape our career pursuits. No longer will you have to endure long rides to Roseau to access computers and technology. The opportunities are now right here within your community. Opportunities that include the extension of education services. For example, we recently commissioned the Smart Center at the Dominica State College. The young people of Grand Fond, Mont Jean Rivière Syriac can now sit comfortably here at the Smart Center and access classes at the Dominica State College. Video conferencing. Farmers no longer have to travel to Portsmouth, Roseau, or the Castle Bruce Center. Through video conferencing, you can now actively engage yourselves in exercises that seek to enhance our production. And of course, importantly, for those of us in the rural communities, no longer do you have to pay $35 to the bus to get to Roseau, $20 for your snack and lunch, and another $10 to access, or $5 to access a birth certificate. But you can now access government online services right here in your community. And of course, for those of us who aspire to do our degree programs, you now have access to online classes, given the fact that UWI now offers online classes, so you do not have to travel to Roseau late hours and wondering how do you get back during nightfall. The Dominica State College is now just a click away from you, the residents of Grand Fond. All this being made available to you at exorbitant cost, but with the recognition by this Labour Party administration that the people of the rural communities, the agricultural communities in Dominica, are an important sector, and consequently taking a conscious decision to ensure that we bring technology to your doorsteps. Again, let me call on you to take ownership and possession of this facility. It is yours to use, it is yours to keep, and yours to protect, and to ensure that succeeding generations can look back and say, yes, indeed, Grand Fond is now what it is as a result of the manner in which we took care of the facility that was constructed here in Grand Fond. Once again, I thank you, and may God bless the people of Grand Fond.
Perform his dual role as the Minister of Education, bearing in mind, of course, education is going to be one of the major pillars of this institution, and of course, in his capacity as the PAL rep. I'm not sure he's representing, but he surely sounds like the PAL rep of the area. Of course, Honorable Session did reiterate and underscore very seriously what the chairperson mentioned to you, to make use of the opportunity, and of course, to also ensure that you take care of the facility as well. Yes, I know it's a moment of elation as well for the minister responsible with the duty for, of course, as well, information. The minister will now tell you how this dream became a reality. Without further ado, it's my pleasure to call to the podium Honorable Kelvedaro.
Thank you very much, PS. Let me recognize the presence of Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt, Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Dominica, Honorable Peter Seja, Minister for Education and Human Resource Development, the Permanent Telecommunications and Technology, Mr. Blackmore, the PS in Education, Ms. Hyacinth, Director of Telecoms, Mr. Bennett Thomas, Chairperson of the Grand Fond Village Council, Ms. Lockhart, our Parish Priest who prayed for us. I also see in our midst Ms. Jean-Pierre, the Director of the ICT Department, Dr. Blaise, other staff of the Ministry of Information, Science, Telecommunications and Technology, the councillors who are here as well. I see my good friend, Mr. Solomon Pascal. Good to see you. Dr. John Toussaint as well. And of course, to you and the surrounding communities and the media, a pleasant good afternoon, one and all. I am indeed very elated to be here this afternoon because in the absence of your parliamentary representative, Honorable Ivor Stevenson, you heard the member for La Plaine and the Minister of Education, Honorable Seja, mention the drive that your power rep had for this project. And as the Minister responsible for ICT, I recall sitting with your parliamentary representative and my staff, indicating the need to establish a smart rural center here in the community of Grand Fort. And I can tell you that your parliamentary representative, he pushed very hard for this project. Because he came to me and he said to me, the number of young people in this community who do not have access to ICT and the tools that are needed for them, the primary school students, the high school students, those going to the college, we had to find a way to make life, and that is what your member, friends. And I had to underscore this point, because a lot of times, we sometimes are quick to bring up the negatives and to say, oh, the government is not doing this, and the government is not doing that, and the Parish Priest is not doing this, and the Parish Priest is not doing that. But I can tell you that your power rep is a very committed man, is one who cares about you in this constituency, and is one who has your best interests at heart. And that is why this project is happening today, my dear friends. Under the leadership of Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, has always placed people before politics. And once again, this formal opening of the Smart Center, coming on the heels of a recent graduation of over 100 students at the Center of Excellence, is yet another practical demonstration of government's commitment in developing the human resource capacity of not only the people of Grand Fort and the surrounding villages, but by extension, the citizens of Dominica. The government has maintained that an educated workforce is critical to the continued development of this country. And you have the commitment of not only myself as the minister, but also the entire cabinet, of our abilities and enjoy a satisfactory way of life. The objective of the Smart Center is for the provision of advanced telecommunication and ICT services using state-of-the-art technology and equipping citizens using the most effective methodologies, resource capacity, and seeking employment opportunities for all in these respective communities. And I must highlight the fact that this center is a state-of-the-art, because currently, as I speak, it is the only center in Dominica with the ability to provide video conferencing and other smart technology methodologies. So it's more than just going on the internet and logging on. It goes beyond that, and which we will see when we visit the center after the ceremony. The ministry is not only seeking to provide connectivity of the services at the Center of Excellence to persons in remote communities, but to provide them with the skills to establish their own businesses and, where possible, enhance their existing businesses. The end result of capacity building must be to ensure that we develop the innovative and entrepreneurial spirit within our people in an effort to create high-paying jobs for those desirous of pursuing such training. The Center of Excellence will be a pivotal institution used to develop talent and expertise. It has been said by persons living outside of the capital city of Roseau that all government services are centralized in Tong. However, in an age of advanced technology, it is now possible to provide access to all such services, whether governmental or private, using communication tools at this smart rural center. It is for this reason, my dear friends, that the Smart Center was envisioned as a multi-purpose telecommunication and ICT center equipped with modern communication equipment and services, together with ICT tools, based for use in collaboration with the Center of Excellence in Information Technology at the State College, specifically targeting persons in rural communities. Some of the equipment which will be housed, or which are housed in the center, because it's already there, include video conferencing equipment, IP phones, advanced 2-in-1 computers, overhead projectors, digital whiteboards and printers, to name a few. In the near future, there are plans for 3D printers, digital touchscreens, cloud servers, and electronic sensors for weather monitoring and soil sensors, etc. This center is a work in progress, my dear friends. Additionally, this center will also provide employment, and by this I say local employment, because the young people who will be working at the center will be young people from the Grand Forks area, providing employment for you, the people of this community. One of the core services which will be undertaken by the center is human resource training, and in this respect, the center will be immediately offering all the courses in information technology that are presently being taught and pursued at the Center of Excellence in the upper campus of the Dominica State College. So no longer will the students and the young people of this community, have to traverse to Roseau to receive these courses, but they will be doing it right here using video conferencing equipment. Prior to the passage of the national budget, government sought to hear from the people of their needs, and coming from these discussions, it was determined that small business development training was critical in furthering sustainable and socio-economic development. The Smart Center is well positioned to provide courses in small business training for all residents throughout this constituency through the use of advanced technological services and equipment. Additionally, residents may use the center for e-banking instead of having to wait in lines or to travel to Roseau to perform simple transactions such as bill payments of water or electrical bills. Taxes can also be filed or paid by using the e-government services, as well as to pay custom fees using online customer services. The same is true for applying for both birth, marriage, or death certificates. So you'll be able to receive all of these services right here at the center. Your birth certificates, marriage certificates, death certificates, you'll be able to receive that at the center here in Grand Forks. In an effort to create a sustainable program at the Center of Excellence, as well as seeking to both promote the courses and to reach as many Dominicans as possible, particularly in rural areas, and to be able to consistently provide training in the many courses taught at the college, government has taken a decision to integrate the courses, like I said, at the State College with the center here in Grand Forks. Finally, it is our hope that the Smart Center will be used not only as a training hub or business processing center, but importantly, It can be a place where research and analysis can be done for climate change phenomena, e-agriculture, e-medicine, and others, just to name a few. Students who possess their smart devices, whether your smartphones, your tablets, your iPads, and the likes, will also be able to sit within the vicinity of the compound and use your smart devices on the outside as well. And I also want to encourage our young people that while we are making this investment in your lives and here in this community, and ensuring that you have the necessary technology at your fingertips, I want to continue to encourage you, the young people, to use the technology in a positive way. Very importantly, use it to promote what is happening in Grand Forks, the culture in this community, the markets and the farmers in this community. Use it to promote the good that is happening in this community, or to promote it even further and to ensure that more visitors can come to Grand Forks and spend their money here in this community to build up this place, my dear friends. The government of people remain competitive and technologically aware of the many benefits to be derived from the use of technology. A similar facility will be completed next month in the community of La Plaine as government seeks to keep citizens abreast with the latest technological innovations and services. In the new financial year, we will continue to work along with the various rural communities to see how best we can facilitate such initiatives. The Ministry of Science and Technology is also in the process of organizing, along with the Ministry of Education, a National Science and Innovators Fair carried for November of this year. This will be an opportunity for our young minds, aspiring minds, in the area of science, math, physics, chemistry, to have the opportunity to come forward and to display their skills and to receive the requisite support from the government to build on these skills. Because I believe here in Dominica we have our young people who have the potential to be of next Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook. We have young people who have the talent to build on the infrastructure that is here to further their skills in ICT. We'll also be working with the NTRC, the National Telecommunications Regulatory Commission, to increase broadband access at our secondary schools on the island to ensure that at all our high schools, our young people can continue to have the technology at their fingertips. Let me take this opportunity on behalf of myself to thank my staff within the Ministry of Information, Science, Telecommunications and Technology for their hard work and effort in ensuring that today's function is a success and that this facility is a reality. I want to thank my PS, Mr. Blackmore, for his leadership at the technical level, Mr. Bennett Thomas, Director of Telecoms, Mr. Esprit, and the other staff within the ministry for ensuring that we work together. Because I can tell you, I'm always on their backs, ensuring that we get the work done. Because this government is a serious government, and we have an agenda, and we have to ensure that we achieve this agenda. So it takes hard work, and it takes dedication, and I really want to thank my staff profusely for the efforts. Let me also thank the Honorable Minister of Education for partnering with us through his ministry, because you realize the center is an upgrade of one of the classrooms that we've had at the schools. Honorable Minister, I want to thank you for partnering with my ministry and your PS and the staff for ensuring that we have this facility open as well today. I also want to thank you, the residents of Grand Forks, for your tremendous support, because without you and your support, this facility would not be a reality. So I want to thank you on behalf of myself and the ministry. And also I want to thank, finally, our Prime Minister, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, for not only ensuring that the funds for this facility were made available, but the Prime Minister also shares a vision for ICT and technology in Dominica. And I really want to commend the Prime Minister for his overall vision and directions in the process. And PM, thanks for your support. And I really want to tell you thank you very much. Thank you. So my friends here in Grand Four, this is your facility. You have to take care of it. You have to ensure that you make proper use of it. At the end of the day, our role and responsibility as a government is to provide you with the resources and the enabling environment so that you can build up on yourselves. We have done that through the Smart Center. But now, young people, ensure that you take full advantage of it and ensure that you use it for the productive and the upliftment of your lives and your community and constituency. Thank you, and God bless each and every one of you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Darrow. And of course, I am happy that the Minister really stressed the need, which he recognized as hard work, dedication, and of course, partnership. And it's on that note, I really want to recognize in our midst, it wasn't oversight, Mr. Craig Nesty, the Executive Director of the National Telecom Regulatory Commission, because they're a pivotal part that they play in terms of helping us get the equipment and the facility in place. I also want to recognize Mistress Roselia Lawrence, the Acting Controller, Budget Controller, representing the Acting Financial Secretary. And of course, I cannot forget Dr. Subrao, who is the Director of the Center of Excellence in Telecommunication, and of course the team leader of our Indian colleagues, really helping us out today, getting on the touching edge of technology and being among the best in the class. It's again an honor to have your presence here today. On that note, I want to break a little bit of the momentum and ask Mr. Anton Joseph to come forward. Anton Joseph to come forward with a bit of entertainment.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, the Ministers of Cabinet, Prime Ministers, Minister Skerrit, and the Ministers. Good afternoon to all officials here today. Good afternoon to all unofficial. Well, we all are official, so I should not say unofficial. Yeah, because we all make this ceremony what it is today, so. All right. Good afternoon to Mr. Philbert Abraham. I am happy that we are laughing because, you know, the entertainment consists of all that, you know. Yeah, so it's good that we are all laughing. Well, the DJ is trying to give you all a little music to go with what I have. You know, I can only do such, but DJ, just hold on a little while. Hold on a little while. I'm going to give them the pleasure of listening to the song for 2017. I cannot be at the forefront, you know. I wish I had a bigger stage to do what I had to do. Yeah. All right. Well, just listen to the message, you know. Yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Don't play the episode. Yeah. You know, I told him to come especially, you know, because I know the jokes would be coming. Okay. But are we part of this world war? Tell me, what have we become? Dis-moi, pouchi tous les jours sous nouvelle, moi qu'attend non moun mort. Monsieur, is it a plague that is upon us? Or is it that we lost our love? Brother, the rate that we are going down, it seems like this country won't have no one. Oh, mauvais manière nous pouvons catcher nos mwedi. Force nom jodi, c'est un coup de la en physique. Moun toujours ka di gouvernement ka tuer pays, mais c'est pour changer monsieur malheureux, c'est zo qui ka tuer. Grand four. Grand four. Grand four. Grand four. Grand four. Grand four. We need to stop all this fighting. We need to stop all these wars, brothers. Stop using weapons to destroy our people. Oh, brother. Oh. We cannot stand if we're divided. The only remedy is love. To build our nation, we must help one another to go forward. Dominica, I say, à nous gomme pour nous voir. Pays nous sorti à nous essayer. Calling all the young and the old, brother, unite and love. I will just give you one verse. Yeah. You know for what, because at the end of the day, we need to come to realize that we are our brother's keeper. Whoa. At the end of the day, Philbert, we need to come to realize that we are our brother's keeper. Whoa. No man is an island, we all need each other. Brothers, it's time we put away the hate and the grudge and let our goodness be shown. For this country is our home, brother. Let us bring back the love. Whoa. This country is our home, brother. Let us bring back the love. For this country is our home, Philbert. Let us bring back the love. Oh, this country is our home. We need to bring back the love. DJ, you can give me mama, right? You can give me mama. Pack it in where. Want something for me? Whoa. Mama, my mother. Ou pre moi la moi t'es tout petit, et puis vous levez moi. Mama, comme si nous pas ni pièce vite. Oh, l'amour nous t'es primé, passez bien la tête. Ou qui fait tout bagaille bon pour moi, c'est pour moi point chaque fois. Mama, though you sometimes fall but running away. When the burden got so rough, Mama, you stayed. Through your sickness, you remain there. Because you always thought about this brighter day. Outi bagay pa to mauvais. Pouchi jondi roule ale, Mama. Pa ou kite mwen. Grand folk legend. Pa kite mwen. Woy, Mama. Woy. All you enjoying all yourself. That is what entertainment is supposed to do. Let all you enjoy all yourself, Woy. Mama. C'est faux moi pour chaque fois. Après ou m'a y pani on l'autre qui fait pour moi. Woy. Valait pleurer moi j'en pleurer maman. Ou qui ou ka quitter moi. Maman. Ou mouche moi tout respect. Pour aimer. Et comme pour développer la vie moi. Si moi pas tenir un monde corps, m'a te que faire un homme. Mama. Ou di bagay pas trop mauvais. Pouti chouan ou le quitter Mama. Pas ou quitter moi. Pas la dje moi. Pas quitter moi. Non. Woy. Mama. Woy. Mama. Everyone outside, pas quitter moi. Pas pour quitter Mama. No. I'm listening last so you know. As a father, you providing it. Your task you always did. When the world would shut its doors on me, my plate you always filled. Mama, God bless that path you took to see me live. It meant the world to me. Whoa. Though you sometimes fall but running away. When the burden got so rough, Mama, you stayed. Through your sickness, you remain there. Because you always thought about this brighter day. Pouti bagay pa to mauvais. Pouti jodi roule ale, Mama. Pa ou kite moi. palaje mwen, pakite mwen. Non, 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 non. Ou di ou le hay jwen bote. Ou ti chalman ou le kite mama, pa ou kite mwen, palaje mwen, pakite mwen. Non, 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 mama, mama. Mama, mama, mama. Mama, mama, mama. My mother, mama, mama. Mama, 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 mama. Whoa, 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 mama. Papu kite mwen, papu kite mwen. Non, non, non. Mama, mama. Mama, 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 mama. Whoa, 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 whoa. Mama, mama, mama. Mama, mama. Papu kite. Mama, mama, mama. Mama, mama, mama. Papu kite mwen, palache mwen, mama. Se ou mwen le a la vi mwen, mama. Ou bagay ou jan fè pou mwen. Mwen ka oui men se ou te la pou mwen. Papu kite mwen, palache mwen, mama. Se ou mwen le a la vi mwen. Ou bagay ou jan fè pou mwen. Mwen ka oui men se ou te la pou mwen, mama. Grand Form people and all the officials, all the welcome guests. Mr. Scarrett, thank you very much. This is White Ferry.
Solid performance from Mr. Joseph. But I just want to tell Mr. Joseph. I just want to tell Mr. Joseph that he has just put Hollywood on notice. And this time around, it is 2017. And we certainly want to ensure that the Cadre Slipstone competition gets back to where we belong in Maho. So, on that note, however, it's our honor to have the performance from the cultural group. And I think we see a number of young persons there. So right now we'll call on the Grand Fond cultural group to give us some entertainment. The cultural group of Grand Fond. Thank you very much. I think they deserve a much bigger round of applause than that. This is very genuine talent at the core. And of course, we have the distinguished presence of the Prime Minister, but for me as a PS, I see him more as the Minister of Finance this afternoon, since without his approval and endorsement, we can't get anything done. So it is really an honor for me to call to the podium now the Honorable Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit, Prime Minister of Dominica.
Thank you very much. Let me first of all recognize in our presence Honorable Kelvin Darrow, who is our Minister for Information Science, the Minister for Education and Human Resource Development, Mr. Lucien Blackmore, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Information, Mrs. Chandler Hyacinth, the Acting Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education. We have here with us Ms. Joanna Lockhart, the Chairperson of the Grand Fond Village Council, our dear Parish Priest, Father Michel Fabalier, Mr. Bennett Thomas, the Director of Telecommunications, Mr. Craig Nesty, who is the Executive Director of the NTRC, also Dr. Subra of the Center of Excellence, our dear friend from India, a country which we have some excellent relations and who are assisting us dramatically in the advancement of our ICT sector. I want to stand so that people could recognize you. Also, members of the media, invited guests, Mr. Solomon, who will deliver the vote of thanks for us, Dr. John Toussaint, the members of the council, the staff of the Grand Fond Primary School, and the wonderful residents of Grand Fond, and those listening via live broadcast of this very short but important ceremony. Friends all. Well, for me, it is always a pleasure, very sincere pleasure to be here in Grand Fond, a village where I have many, many dear friends. But also, it is a village where I got elected as the leader of the Dominica Labour Party in 2004. So I always hold Grand Fond dearly to my heart. This is why I did not want to miss this afternoon's event, to celebrate with you, because it is indeed a time to celebrate a major achievement. You know, when you build a road, you can see it. And you build an edifice, you can see it. But investments in education and training is not something you see walking the streets of Grand Fond, Dominica. But it has a very far-reaching, important implication for our children and for the future of Grand Fond and Dominica. I have been advised that we have spent in excess of $235,000 thus far on this facility. So it is not a small investment. And my hope and prayer is that the entire community, not only the young people, but the entire community, makes use of this facility. It is not in your interest, it is not in the best interest of the community or Dominica for us to simply sit by and be negative. There are opportunities in this country. We must place ourselves in positions to take advantage of the opportunities. And the government has a responsibility to put the infrastructure in place to facilitate people's access to these opportunities. It is left to you, the citizens of Dominica, and in this case, more specifically, the residents of Grand Fond, to leave your homes and walk to the center and register yourself to take advantage of this very important center. Because there are many villages, and I dare say every village in Dominica is now envious of Grand Fond, because they would have loved to have this ceremony this afternoon. And how you can show gratitude is for us to be back here and speak to the managers of the center so they could tell us how many, the scores of people who have taken advantage of this facility. And I don't want to go up and talk about the benefits of this because Honorable Kelvedaro and Honorable Peter Singer have done a fantastic job in explaining to you the uses and the potential benefits to you individually and the community as a collective. And we give you the firm commitment because we believe in the Labour Party, which I have the honor to lead, that education is important. And if you have followed the politics of Dominica, the governance of this country carefully, you would have seen a coordinated, concerted effort by this government to status. Gone are the days when only a handful of us would have access to secondary school from Granford. And those who did found it extremely difficult, if not impossible, to go to school because they couldn't afford the high cost of transportation and textbooks. So this government has not only created access to education, we're also providing the means of taking advantage of the access to education. And I'm calling on our young people, and I'm calling on parents, because parents, you have a responsibility, a duty, to ensure that our children stay on the safe and narrow, and they avail themselves of the opportunities. They study, and they study hard, and make themselves proud, and make you, the family, proud. So we will spare no effort in creating opportunities for you, the residents of Granford, and of course the entire country. These things are not cheap. They're not cheap. Because we could have easily said, let us use the $245,000 to complete the main road coming up to Granford, which is in need of improvement. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But we've decided, as a priority, let us invest in this facility, and then we will fix the road for you. Because we understand that we have to give to our young people. We have to provide skills and education qualifications for young people that they are able to stand on their 2 feet down the road in years to come. Because once you have these qualifications, it is impossible for anybody to take it away from you. And I cannot implore you more, young people, for us to stay away from the consumption of drugs and the abuse of alcohol in our country. There is no place for drugs and alcohol in anybody's life, far more for a young person. But these are choices which must make. These are choices which must make as individuals. What path are we going to follow in life? Are we going to follow a positive path or a negative path? Because yes, there are distractions, but there are many opportunities to keep us engaged and engaged to do the right things for ourselves and by ourselves. I want to say to you also, tomorrow we'll be signing with the Aid Bank a $15 million agreement to provide concessionary financing to manufacturers and agro-processors in Dominica at an interest rate of 3% and a grace period of 12 months, which means they don't have to pay anything within that 12-month period. All in an effort to create more jobs for people, more higher paying jobs for people, to create more entrepreneurs in our country, more innovators in our country, because we have to produce more than we're currently producing as a people. And the government is there to facilitate that innovation, to facilitate that production. We just signed yesterday, or broke ground rather, for a $53 million road improvement program in the Eo-Liblan Highway that will be financed by the government of the People's Republic of China. All of this are major investments taking place in Dominica. But for us, as a government, nothing can top our concern and our commitment to education and training and healthcare. And as you know, the hospital, the National Hospital, is going on apace. And the Chinese will hand over to the government in the month of October the first phase of this hospital. seeking to improve access to healthcare, raising the bar in terms of our delivery of service, so to ensure that when our people go to the hospital, they can get the optimal care they deserve like everybody else in this country. So these things are major investments the government is making as part of its strategic plan to create a better Dominica, a more prosperous Dominica, a more just Dominica. I wanted to come here to be very brief, but to be part of the ceremony and celebrate with you, the people of Grand Farm. Because, my friend here, is a very interesting song that we must all pay attention to. Not only pay attention to the entertainment aspect of the song, the beats and so forth, but pay attention to the lyrics, the words. I find in this country there's just too much negativism. Everybody wants to criticize, people want to criticize, but who is prepared to work? If something is wrong, yes, say it is wrong, but provide an alternative and be prepared to make your contribution to implement that alternative. It is very easy for anybody to sit down and criticize. The road is bad, it's easy to say the road is bad, but how do we fix the road? Where do we get the money to fix it? We invest in this country, people destroy it, they vandalize it, and we just sit there as a country and say nothing about it, not speak against it. And what really is interesting in this country is that I thought that when we go to university to get an education, to get qualifications, is to make the world better. Is to make a little contribution, as small as it is. But I get the impression that people, when they go to universities these days, is just to sit and to criticize and not be in a position or prepared to contribute. To contribute, we have to be more positive in our thinking, because the world is very difficult. And there are people who believe that the worst country on earth is Dominica. Dominica is the only place in the world that has problems. My challenge to anybody who says that is to go on a plane or a boat and tell me when you get to the next country what's happening there. Every country has its own challenges and its own difficulties. But if we work together as a people, recognizing that we have a greater responsibility to our future, our country will be much further than it currently is. So let us appreciate this investment. We're not doing it, the government is not doing it for itself, the government is doing it for you, the residents of Grand Farm. And I will say to you finally that I have committed an initial amount to address the housing situation in Grand Farm, an amount of $3 million for the village of Grand Farm to assist with improving the housing condition of the community. And I have said to the PS and I have said to the Minister of Housing that we will have to send a housing officer to be resident in Grand Farm to oversee the execution of his works. Because there's some contractors in this country. There's some contractors in this country, and some of them are really pissing me off, to be honest with you. You give them a contract to fix a house for an old lady, to build a washroom for an old lady, and then they go, you in the contract, it is for a new face basin. Everything new tiles and everything. But you have some contractors who are bandits in this country who go on abandoned sites, old projects, and take a face basin and put it for this poor old lady. You know, we have to be more diligent and be more frank with ourselves. That when you get a contract, you must do the work properly and to the satisfaction of the people. And I am sending a very clear message to all contractors. I'm not calling names, because I'm not going to talk about Grand Farm, to the whole country here, because they're all listening to me tonight. if we come to visit the homes of the people, or we give you to construct a road, we give you to a contract to build a home, or whatever contract it is, and the people are not satisfied, or the government is not satisfied, I am telling you tonight, you will never get a contract from this government again. We have to be more diligent. We have to be more diligent, and we have to execute the works properly. Because if we're to get to where we want to be as a prosperous nation, every one of us must be more diligent. We can't only call on the Prime Minister to be more diligent. Every one of us in this country has an equal responsibility to the future of Dominica. And therefore, we must play our part in working diligently and more productively. So I really want to commend the leadership of Honorable Kelvedaro. And to say publicly that I have the greatest confidence in him, in the way that he leads the Ministry of Information and Technology. Because he has a passion for ICT. And when you are leading such entities, you must have a passion for what you do. You must have a love for what you do. The motivation must come from within. And I must say that he has that motivation intrinsically, and I recognize it. The Director of Telecoms, very passionate. When he meets me, he can spend hours talking about ICT and all of the wonderful things about it. He has a drive and a commitment to this. I want to recognize him. The Permanent Secretary. You see, we have to be grateful as a country for people like Lucian Blackman. These people have stayed in the country to make a positive contribution to Dominica's development. And here is the accounting officer for the Ministry of Housing, a very vast ministry with many millions being spent there. And I really want to say that publicly, that I have great confidence and appreciation and respect for Mr. Blackmore and the leadership which he provides at the Permanent Secretary level. I also want to recognize Mr. Nesty and the staff of the NTRC for continuing to work with the Ministry of Information Technology in advancing our ICT program in Dominica. You have been a valued partner, and we look forward to the continued commitment to this. It's important for all of us to work together, because only when we work together as a people, as a village, we can achieve great things. We'll all have different views as to how something should be done, when it should be done, who should do it. But we should never lose sight of the fact we want it to get done. Because when it is done, and it is done properly, we will all benefit, my dear brothers and sisters. So let us be more positive. Let us be more united as a people. Let us work together to addressing our challenges and to make life better for all of us. You have in me as the Prime Minister of this country and as the Minister of Finance of this country my fullest support in ensuring that the resources are made available to you here in Granford to addressing your present day and future challenges. So God bless you, my dear friends. Let us remain positive as a people, and let us work together to effect a better way of life for all of Dominica. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Prime Minister, for your continued inspiration and direction and drive. We all took very copious notes of your words of encouragement, and of course the continued direction you want us to continue. On this note, I want to alert everyone that we're going to have a small change in the agenda. Okay, I will now call on Mr. Solomon Pascal, the son of the soil, to give us the vote of thanks. Mr. Pascal.
Good afternoon to everyone. Okay, the psalmist says, that is the psalmist 116 and 136, says, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, and his love is eternal. So this afternoon, for granting us with life, granting us with the energy, granting us with the spirit, we give thanks to the Lord. That's very important. Honorable Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Honorable Kelva Daru, Minister for Telecommunications, Science and Technology, Honorable Peter Session, Minister for Human Resource Development and Education, well, not forgetting our chair, the Director of Telecoms, Mr. Bennett Thomas, Ms. Joanna Lockett, Chairperson of the Grand Fund Village Council. We also have in our presence Ms. Chancellor Hyacinth, the PS in the Ministry of Education, Dr. Jeffrey Blaise, Assistant Chief Education Officer, our Parish Priest, well, acting on behalf of our Parish Priest, Father Favali. Also have Dr. Shabral, as I understood, Mr. Craig Nesty in our presence. We have also representatives of the Grand Fund Primary School, teachers and staff. We also have our DDO who is present with us, Mrs. Francis, and I think the CDA also, and all the invited guests. I think this afternoon is a pleasure to stand here and to say thank you. As the psalmist says, in everything, we are required to give thanks. Let us all remember that in everything that we do. First of all, to our dear Prime Minister, who is the leader of the country, the government of Dominica. Had it not been for his wisdom and the policy decision of his cabinet, we would not have had the Smart Center this afternoon. So, Prime Minister, we owe many thanks to you for this great venture in our constituency. I also want to take the opportunity, although I am going to divert a little, to say thank you for making the pledge of offering $3 million to improve the housing needs of this community. I think it's a thought well articulated, and the people of this constituency will really appreciate that sort of intervention. When I sat down there this afternoon, and I heard Honorable Daru, deliver his speech. And I also heard the White Ferry gave his contribution. I'm going to tell you something about Honorable Daru. I don't know if Honorable Daru will like it. But Honorable Daru has been a student of mine at high school. Also, the White Ferry. And I say, Honorable Daru, we thank you for your innovation, for your hard work, for thinking of us here this afternoon and beyond. We really appreciate this intervention and what you have articulated this afternoon, what you have said to us, the benefits that you have given us for the use of the Smart Center. I see this will go a long way in enhancing the social and economic life of every single villager, constituent, and I think Dominican by extension. We really appreciate this intervention. Honorable Daru, continue doing more, because I think we owe it to the people of our nation. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, We have the staff of the Ministry of Telecommunications, Science and Technology. And at the helm of this staff is the PS, Mr. Blackmore. Sir, we thank you for all the hard work that you have put into it. But we also want to thank the front line personnel who was here with us day in and day out, planning with the management committee as to how do we at least bring this ceremony this afternoon to what it is. And I have to tell you, Mr. Director, I had never said that to him, but you will hear it this afternoon. You have a very wonderful Director of Telecommunications. This gentleman is very meticulous. I've been with him throughout, and I can speak on his behalf. Very meticulous, wants everything well done, ensure that everything was done so that we could have a wonderful ceremony this afternoon. Mr. Bennett Thomas, we thank you very much for all that you have done and working with us to ensure this becomes a reality. And also all the other staff members of the Ministry of Telecommunications, Science and Technology. We're not leaving you out. You all play the role that you were supposed to play, and we appreciate that. We also want to thank, well, I do not want to leave out Mr. Don Corriet and Mr. Esprit. I think that was a team that was well bonded together and worked very well. That was very, very good. We thank the Minister for Education, Honorable Peter Sejer, and as was mentioned earlier, for lining up with the Ministry of Telecommunications to ensure this becomes a reality. And you've heard the benefits of a smart center. I'm not going to, the PM, the Minister himself, the Minister of Education gave all the benefits. It's, as was articulated, is a matter of making use of this center and upgrading our professionalism and enhancing ourselves. We want to thank the persons who were there day in, day out, working on this center, the technical people. And I think we have the names, Mr. Craig Matthews, Senior and Junior, and Mr. Yannick Lawrence, the electrician. They did a fantastic job. When you get inside there, you will see the quality of work the technicians provided. And that's very good, that's very great. The people who ensured that the environment was clean so that when we all come there, we would be pleasant. Or we would be sitting in a pleasant ambience. The National NEP, the National Employment Workers, they did a good job in ensuring that the place was properly washed up and properly cleaned and properly landscaped. So we owe it to you, NEP, hats off, and thank you for a job well done. The Parish Priest, we thank you for your words of wisdom, your words of prayer, and we always welcome you at our midst. And we thank all those, I hope I didn't leave anybody, well, the media, you're always there with us, and we thank you for that. Without you, the rest of the nation, the rest of the world will not know what we are doing locally. We thank you, media, for being here with us this afternoon. And I hope I didn't leave anybody else. But if I left out anybody, just remember that you are thanked for the contribution that you have made for ensuring we have a smart center. And that smart center is going to transform the lives of every person who takes advantage of it in the constituency, because it's not only going to be used for Grand Fond, it's going to be used for the entire constituency as well as the nation. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Minister for Education highlighted, and also the Minister for Telecommunications, the work and the role that the PALREP played in ensuring that we had this facility. The PALREP is not there with us in body, but we assure you the PALREP is there with us in spirit. And we thank the PALREP immensely for working on our behalf in ensuring that we get this upgraded smart center. And let me say to everyone, it's appropriate technology. It's appropriate technology, so let us use this system to advance ourselves and show the government that we appreciate what they have done in our constituency. Thank you very much, everyone, for what has been done.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Pascal. Just to give you a brief idea as to what is to come, we're going to have the signing of a road contract. We're supposed to be 2 contractors, but there's only 1 present today. So the chairperson will be doing that in a while. But I just want to quickly touch on, in terms of expressing our gratitude to some persons who played a very key role. Miss Marshall, she was the lady who single-handedly cleaned that room when I came there a few days ago and really insisted that we have to get things going. So I really want to say a very big thank you to Miss Marshall. And of course, the beautiful decor that we're seeing here today was under the stewardship of Mistress Helen Francis, not only in the capacity of the DDO, but also as a personal contribution for ensuring we have this thing. So I really want to say a big thank you for Miss Francis. And of course, the installation of the ICT units, the docking, was done by the ICT unit. And of course, under the leadership of Ms. Jean-Pierre, which is us today, I really want to say a big thank you. Mr. Nesty and Ms. Williams from the NTRC for providing us with requisite support in the installation of the equipment. I also want to say thanks. And of course, I cannot forget Mr. Ina Alexander, who is the one doing all the telecoms installation for us. He's a contractor, but he really worked out night and day, ensuring that we had it done to the best standard and practice, and to ensure we had it there. And on this note, I really want to call on to the floor right now, the chairperson for taking us through the signing ceremony for the road contract. Ms. Lockhart.
Good afternoon again. This afternoon we'll be witnessing the signing of 2 contracts. Unfortunately, we were supposed to be signing 5 contracts this afternoon, but 2 of the contractors who were supposed to do the work at Riviera City, they are out of state. So we will be having the signing of the one at Grand Fort and one at Mount John. The works at Grand Fort, this entails a drain from, if everybody know Mr. Joseph Daly's home, that is from the bus stop to the end of Grand Fort. That is by Julina George's home. And the contractor for that project will be Gavaster Charles. This project is in the amount of $36,779.56. The second project we'll be looking at is one at Mount John, that is a back road. For all of us here who knows Carroll Langford area, so this road will be constructed in that area. And we have 2 contractors. They are Bernard Cadet and Jason Matthew. But unfortunately, we have not seen Mr. Bernard Cadet. Mr. Jason is here with us today, so we'll be signing these 2 contracts today to make sure that these works are done. The contractors, could you come forward, please? He's outside. Yes, and then the chapel witness. So you have just witnessed the signing of the two contracts. The contractors, the council, will be the ones monitoring the projects, and we're expecting you all to do a good job and a proper job to ensure that the monies that are given for the contracts, the jobs are done properly. I don't know if any one of you would like to say something. It's okay.
Okay, we're going to proceed to cut the ribbon, but I just want to ensure that we allow the head table, as well with Father, to exit first, and then we would have refreshment afterwards. So allow the head table to proceed, and then the others will follow.
good? Right there. Let us pray. Words and inventions of men junior. We must recognize the continuing we have to pray God. Faithful heart to him that comes
Lord, hear our prayer.
Now that we are performing the forces of nature wisely for your glory and our own well-being, we pray to the Lord.
Lord, hear your prayer.
Because your Holy Spirit, now that we may cooperate with the same Spirit for the renewal of the face of the earth, not merely through technology, but through justice and charity. Pray to the Lord.
Lord, hear your prayer.
You know what lies in our heart. Now that we desire for what is right and good, but guide the use of scientific knowledge. We pray to the Lord.
Lord, hear our prayer.
The wish is that all should call you Father. Grant that those people who suffer discrimination may be helped by all of us to gain the rights and advantages that belong to every human being. We pray to the Lord.
Lord, hear our prayer. Thank you, Father.
Blessed are you, Lord God of heaven. Worship and praise are you. For you have provided for the perfecting of your creation through human labor and intelligence. And you show your own power and goodness in the invention of the human race. Grant that all those who will use this center may use it to improve their lives. May they recognize that you are wonderful in all your works, and they may learn in carrying out your will more readily. We ask for this through Christ our Lord.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen, Father. Amen, Father. What you want, please?
Yes.
Oh my God.